So bored, George. You want to tell us what's the question you get asked the most? The question I get asked most is when I started in music and things about my sexuality. And also I always get asked who I hate. Journalists, especially in France, always want me to be rude about other people. I suppose that's the most obvious question. So, is there any question you ever ask yourself then? What am I doing here? So then, tell us, what's harder, getting off drugs or selling 1 million records? I'd have to say it's a very different situation and not really comparable. Do you think that England has forgiven you? For what? And more to the point, have you forgiven yourself? Well, I think that I don't really understand the hypocrisy from people concerning drugs, because a lot of the people that wrote about me were taking acid in the 60s, so it's kind of hypocritical. What do they say? The sins of the fathers will be reflected on the sons. So, the last time you had sex, I mean really had sex, was it with a boy or was it with a girl? Both. Can you tell me exactly how many lovers you've had? I can tell you exactly, I've had about 7. Very humble beginnings, but I'm hoping to improve on that score in the future. So boy, what sort of things do you prefer in sex? Do you have any kinks? What do I prefer? Let me think. I'm very basic when it comes to sex. I like really normal things. I mean, I have a perverted mind, but when it actually comes to putting into practice, I'm very kind of, basic. I like the normal things, kissing, holding. I like affection more than sex. I want to ask you this, do you masturbate? Yes. Sorry, I'm not embarrassed, I just think it's a really bizarre question, but that's okay. Everybody does it. It's a national sport. Now look, if you had to go on a desert island and you had to choose 3 people, would you choose, out of these 3, Maggie Thatcher, Elton John or George Michael, or would you go on your own? I think Elton John probably, because he's got a very nice personality and he's quite a nice person, and he's quite good to talk to. I'd choose somebody with a personality really, because I don't fancy any of those people, so sex would be out of the question, so it would have to be like very kind of like, kind of friendship relationship, so I'd choose him. So tell me, how do you picture yourself when you get to about 64? Well, I often think I'd be lucky to make 64, but it would be nice to picture myself as kind of like Cecil Beaton. So tell us then, are you afraid of dying? I think everybody is. Do you believe in God? I think that I'd say on the surface I'd say I didn't, but underneath I think all of us believe in it. I don't know whether that's because we've been conditioned to believe that there is a God, or that we actually feel it. I think that I think of the world as God. I think the actual planet that we live on is God, and that's my kind of surrealist idea of what God is. But I'm not a very religious person. I think the basic things you have to have is a kind heart, and you have to be good to each other, and the rest of it is irrelevant. Did you know they sell switchblade knives with the Pope on at the Vatican?